So our family will take care of yours every step of the way. And right now, you can double up and save. Buy a new AC unit and get 50% off a new furnace to match it. Count on Opox for fast and professional heating and cooling services. Count on Opox.
Looking for something new? We thought so. SVP is mixing things up, and digital TV, it'll never be the same. Download the SVP app today on Roku, Apple, and Fire TV. Watch us. You know why? Tune in to Talking Law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill and the special guest host, Attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question, our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome to Talking Law with Daryl O'Neill. I'm your host. I got my main man with me, Jerome.
What's up, Daryl?
Man, another day in the neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
You know, and we're going to give our shout outs, man, but, you know, we want to do a couple things today, Jerome.
Okay.
And so, number one is, you know, voting just happened. So we really want to engage and bring people in and have some conversation about voting.
So important.
So important, so important. Then the other thing is, you know, we want to talk about some life decisions that people don't want to make.
Well, you know, we don't like talking about it, but, you know, the scripture says it's once appointed that man will die.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're going to die, and nobody gets out of here alive.
Facebook, how you doing? Welcome to the show. We know you're watching live. If you're watching from Facebook or YouTube, you can actually dial in and we'll answer your phone, answer your questions right now. And it doesn't depend on it doesn't matter what subject you're talking about.
I would love to get a call right now. We might have a little prize for somebody who gives us a call right now, there. We might, yeah.
So,
buy a hamburger or something.
I like that. 244-6874 is the number to call in if you watch it from Facebook Live, YouTube. I think it's Facebook Live, YouTube. And I guess if you're doing Roku, Fire Stick, or Amazon, Apple TV, you can probably dial in line too.
Absolutely, I believe you can, Daryl.
We need to say welcome to California. We got a lot of people that watch us out on the West Coast. You know, need to say welcome and hi to people in Little Rock, Arkansas. A lot of people watching Arkansas. Welcome to West Memphis, Arkansas. Welcome to Shelby County. Welcome to Mississippi. And Mom, welcome to the great state of Missouri.
Oh, there she's still here.
Man, I ain't never letting her go home, man.
Hey, Mom, I sure don't blame her for keeping your mom close by, man.
So, Jerome, you know, and I told you this, and I did this off air, but I got to do it on air, man.
Okay, man. All right.
I got to do it on air.
All right, let me just sit back.
Let's just sit back. Hey, man, I need to tell you, I'm sorry.
Okay, bro.
Jerome said that the new people that once they get elected, they go in place of September the 1st.
Right.
And I said to Jerome, nah, Jerome, I think it's somewhere in August.
And he kind of argued me down a little bit.
Man, shoot. I act like you owe me some money, man. I was talking so bad, you know.
But it's okay then. No,
well, you know, I ain't going to do this once a year.
Look, though we're lawyers, sometimes we do make mistakes. Because we're all human.
We all human.
Yeah, we're all human.
So, So, one of the things is we want to bring another show to you, and we want to gear you up, and we're going to let you know when that show is going to happen. And that is a show for restoration of voting rights and restoration of gun rights.
I like the voting rights part, but I do not like the gun rights part. I mean, I'm telling you, there are already too many people who are not trained properly having guns in the city of Memphis.
No, I don't disagree.
In fact, around the country, there's a rebellion against all of these guns on the street. It makes no sense. All of these folks aren't hunters.
No. But that's okay. That's a misnomer. Guns are not in place for hunting.
What are they for there?
Well, so again, you and I, we may agree or disagree
We're going
on
to
it.
disagree every time about that. There's too many people on the street with guns without any training. I cannot believe that you can allow somebody to carry a gun, open or conceal, and never having 1 day's worth of training, no insurance, no nothing. In fact, we require you to have insurance to even drive a vehicle, but you don't have insurance to have a weapon?
Okay, all right.
Ridiculous.
Okay, all right, okay. You got me on that one. Now, the one part you got me that I 110% agree with is the training.
Yeah.
I do advocate and believe that you should have, any person that's going to handle a firearm should have training.
No question about it.
Now, I don't disagree with it. But where I disagree with you is just because I don't have any training doesn't mean that I need my rights to own a gun should be deprived of me. I should be deprived of my rights to own a weapon because I am untrained.
All right, and by the same token, you shouldn't be deprived of driving a car if you don't have insurance?
Well, I think that that's a different argument.
And help me understand why it is.
Well, first off, the state of Tennessee says if you're going to drive a car in the state of Tennessee, you need to be insured.
Okay.
So the state has put in place a statute or a regulation that says that is not, you do not have a constitutional right to drive a gun. To drive a car.
There, it's called financial responsibility,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but that's not the issue, Jerome.
But think about it too. If you have to have financial responsibility to operate a vehicle, because you may harm someone, you may hurt their property, you may cause an injury, you ought to be able to pay for the injuries that you cause. But I can have a gun, I can fire a gun, I can shoot somebody. In fact, I can miss the person I'm shooting at and shoot an innocent person, and I have no way of compensating that person for their loss. It's ridiculous.
Okay,
and you cannot support it, Darryl.
Okay, look, you got me stuttering and stuff, man. Look, I am not suggesting that people that own weapons should not be responsible for the conduct or the actions that occurred as a result of their incompetence, ignorance, stupidity, whatever you want to call it, that causes harm.
Exactly what insurance is designed to do.
To causes harm to
Is it?
yeah.
Is it?
It is.
Okay.
But we're talking apples and oranges.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's the reason why we're talking apples and oranges. Tennessee has a statute that says that if you're going to operate a motor vehicle on Tennessee roads, you must have insurance.
Okay.
And Tennessee, can take that right from you on Tennessee roads.
Exactly.
Tennessee cannot take your rights to own a weapon because that's a constitutional right.
There, up until this most recent Supreme Court ruling, that's absolutely what Tennessee did for years and years and years and years. You did not have a right to carry a gun without training and having a permit.
No. You didn't have a right to carry a weapon concealed without a permit. That's a different night.
You couldn't own a weapon at all.
You can no. You could always own a weapon because again, man, Tennessee was one of the states mothers driving around with a weapon in a window in the back of the car.
How many people have you defended who have been charged with unlawful possession of a weapon? It's because they found it in their vehicles. When they pull you over and they search your vehicle, you got a weapon in there. How many people have you defended who had that charge there?
But that, okay, when you're charged with somebody unlawful possession of a weapon back in it, because that's not even law now.
That's not the law now, right?
when you were charged with unlawful possession of a weapon, that was because the weapon was not registered.
Okay.
Okay, and again,
And you had it in your vehicle.
well, okay,
And
even
not at
if-
home. You can have it at
you know,
home.
right? And the only thing that the law did is say, because you could always have a weapon in your vehicle, but it had to be locked in a glove
That's
compartment.
exactly right.
So it had to be the ammunition and the weapon had to be not. They couldn't be together.
Exactly right.
To me, that's just stupid. I mean, why would you have a gun with no ammunition in it? So I mean, but that's a whole nother argument.
It's because we do not want people with a loaded gun with hot heads get involved in an automobile accident, reach in the glove compartment, pull the gun out, and shoot and kill someone because of an automobile accident.
Well,
or somebody cuts you off in traffic, you reach in the glove compartment and shoot someone. That's why we wanted them to have the right to have the weapon, but not necessarily have access to it
Okay,
so
see-
easily.
See, here's what you're doing. You're doing exactly what everybody used to do, and that is skip steps.
Okay.
See, the people that have a gun lawful are the ones that make better decisions than the people that don't have the guns or have the guns unlawful. See, you're not
Well,
protecting.
I agree with you on that.
You're not authorizing somebody to have a gun is not for the criminal. The criminal could care less what the law is,
So then why did you have to change the law?
because the people that abided by the law didn't carry guns,
Okay.
and you had to have the guns to protect yourself against the criminals.
We just have to agree to disagree and get the show going because we're going to get some calls in just a minute.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, bro.
no, dog, oh,
it just
no.
burns me up to think about. In fact, I've gone in the store a couple of times and these little young guys running around with pistols hanging out of their pockets. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, I mean, now again, I hear what you're saying, and I understand your. I look. Let me tell you, dog. To me, the only thing that the law has done in Tennessee that's annoying to me is they made it easier for incompetents to carry their weapon concealed.
Well, I agree with that.
That's the only thing that I agree with you on. And here's the reason why I agree with you on that. Unlike a shotgun or a rifle, a handgun, especially an automatic, has the propensity to be extremely dangerous. A revolver also has the propensity to be extremely dangerous.
Okay.
Because as you know, because you're a gun guy like I am,
Okay.
a revolver does not have safeties on it.
Okay.
You know, I don't know of a revolver. I don't know that a revolver that was made that had a safety on
Oh,
it.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
A revolver. Now, if you're a soldier like I am,
Okay.
you know what the safety is, right?
Yeah, keep your finger out
The,
of
the, the safety is keep your finger off the trigger. That's the
Right,
safety. If
right.
you ain't ready to shoot nobody, don't put your finger on the trigger.
Right.
So, but a revolver does not have a safety on it normally.
Okay.
An automatic, the automatics do have the safety on it. Now, what they used to have with the revolvers, they would have the double, like the double,
yeah.
you know, so you
Yeah,
had
right.
single and double
Right.
action.
I got you. I like
so a
that.
single action, basically, only thing it put the gun in the ready position,
Okay.
and then the next time it would shoot. That was the
Okay.
double action.
Okay.
And then they came with the automatic guns that had hammers on it. And then the new automatic or the newer automatic guns are hammerless. So they don't have an actual hammer that you pull back, you know, to engage the weapon. And then you had double cock and all that other stuff. So an automatic you can get with or without a safety depending on the type of weapon that you buy.
Got you.
So the point of that is an automatic has so many levels of mistakes. You know, I mean, you can make so many mistakes in a handgun automatic. You know,
I believe you're making my point. There.
No. That's the reason why.
You're
No.
making my point because
that's the
that's
truth.
why I don't believe that people ought to have guns without training.
And I don't disagree with the training
Okay.
part of it. I mean, you know, you and I are never going to look. I'm an advocate of training.
Right.
Okay, what I'm not an advocate of is taking my rights away
Take
from
them
me.
away.
You know, again, you know, the restoration of rights, you know, does two prongs. You know, it's kind of like bankruptcy.
Okay.
A restoration of right gives you a fresh start.
Okay.
Look, I was a person that I had made a mistake in my life.
Yes.
And when I made that mistake in my life, it was considered a felony.
Right.
And as a result of that felony, I lost my right to vote. I lost my right to carry a handgun, a weapon.
And as a felon, you're not eligible for student loans.
Yeah, there's just a
You're
lot
not
of stuff.
eligible
Yeah.
for a lot of things you were cut out of because of mistakes as a young person.
Right.
So I agree, and I'm excited about this show.
Yeah.
That's coming up.
Yeah.
Restoration of rights.
Yeah, and
to vote. That is not. Gotcha, man. I got you.
And so Jerome and I are going to agree to disagree.
Yeah, we just-
but what we are going to agree on is it's going to be a show about restoration of rights.
And there, the panel is just going to be absolutely exciting.
Yeah, and it's my intent to bring 2 judges on.
All right.
Well, at least I know I'm definitely going to have one. And, because it's the civil judges that actually restore those rights.
Right.
So my intent is to bring those people in to have that discussion
That's gonna be a
and
great
then
show.
explain to, what it looks like. And I've done a couple of these. I've done 3 or 4 of these.
I think we've done it together.
Yeah,
too.
we've done one. Yeah. And this is a good thing.
I think
it's
you're
a good
absolutely
thing.
right.
So let's talk about this second level drone that we wanted to talk about. And that is black people don't never want to die. Black people ain't going to never die. They going to live forever. Man, if you talk to a black person, well, I ain't got a will. Man, I ain't going to die. So they don't want a will because they don't never believe they're going to die. And they don't want a will because if they believe they get a will, they're basically condemning themselves to die.
Well, not get a will, but to start talking about getting one. So get wiped out. Look, because, that they said that you can speak stuff into the atmosphere.
Right.
So if I start speaking about end of times, end of life stuff, I'm hastening it coming to me. And so we don't like that discussion. But so what shows like this will do is to help them to get over that discomfort.
Well, let me ask you a
It's
question,
uncomfortable,
Jerome.
Darryl.
You're a pretty healthy guy.
Yeah, I think so.
When you going to die?
I'm going to live as long as Methuselah, 960
And
years.
that's the issue because we don't know.
Right. And I'm glad we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing not
Yeah,
to know, but
right.
because we don't know, we have to put things in place.
That's true.
For instance, you want certain people to do and have certain things.
Yeah.
And there are other people, man, you don't want, man, if you was on fire, I wouldn't pee on you. So I don't want you to have nothing of mine. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the most messiest.
Oh, my God.
We see a lot of people. We see people at their worst. We see people.
Oh, my God.
Well, when I first started practicing, I see people divorces. I mean, when they first got married, they loved each other so much until they just absolutely could not even consider the fact that I'm not going to spend the rest of my life with dude or with her.
Right.
And then they fight like cats and dogs when it breaks down. In fact, that's what they argue about. Who's going to get the cat? Who's going to get the dog?
No, it's the reason why I don't do divorces.
That's right.
Because they fighting about paper clips.
Yes.
Who going to get that paper clip?
That's right.
Just nonsense. But, the thing about that, Jerome, is nobody knows when they're going to get sick.
That's right.
I was talking to a client the other day, man, and it was just amazing to me. A young lady, looked like she's in relatively great shape. Really young lady, man. Went home and had a stroke.
Oh, my goodness, Darryl. Oh, my goodness.
But nothing in
It
place
happens.
for this.
It happens.
Now, she has this stroke. She has some deficiencies. So who is now going to make decisions for her while she's recovering from those deficiencies?
Very good question.
Because she didn't know she was having one.
Had no idea.
She didn't believe she was going to ever have one. She's relatively young. So why would she do that? That's the reason why. Look, I run like a deer, but I got a power of attorney in place. I have a will in place. You know, because again, I don't know. Tomorrow's promised to no man.
That's true.
You know, so you got to have those things in place. Yeah, what I mean, what do why is a will so important?
Well, there, and another question, another thing too. There is a lot of black people, African Americans, don't believe that they own enough stuff to have a will.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one of the downfalls too.
Yeah.
Is that they don't think, well, all I got is this, and this. But what they've done is they've enumerated all the things right there, the reason why. Because if you own anything at all, you ought to be concerned about how it's going to be transferred.
Right.
Because you certainly don't want Miss George next door wearing your mink coat. the one you were studying around with in the neighborhood, and then when you pass away, somebody just rushes in the house, and next thing you know, she's wearing it.
Yeah.
That's not what you want.
Yeah.
So you want to have an organized way, a method of your property passing down. Even your children, even your relatives, you don't want them necessarily running through your things. So the best way to do it is to have it written down. Now, there are many ways that you can accomplish this. You don't necessarily have to go to court to get it done.
Or a lawyer.
Yeah, you can do a holographic will.
Yeah.
And what that means, people, is now, one thing about it, you got to be it has to be followed some strict protocol. That means that you can write it down yourself in your own handwriting, but nothing else can be on there. It cannot be a notary seal. It cannot be a date stamp. Any of those things will disqualify, wouldn't it there?
Yeah.
So you just write it down, and you don't necessarily have to even sign it, do you?
No, you have to sign it.
It has to be signed.
It has to be
but
signed.
as long as in your handwriting, because the court is going to find a way to construe that to be your last will and testament.
Yeah.
You don't have to even use that language.
Right. Well,
You can say, I hereby want to pass on what I have on my death to John Jones, my ring, my watch, my this, and this. And that should do it.
Yeah.
But you believe it has to be signed to her.
it does. I believe it does have to
and
be signed.
dated too, maybe?
And signed and dated.
Okay.
And
I guess to show that you were over the age of 18, maybe, or something.
Well, that's what you have. That's one of the things you're supposed to say inside of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that even a holographic will has to say certain things.
Okay.
I actually used this before on a number of clients. And a lot of times, this is when you do this when clients are in the hospital.
Okay.
Because the problem with getting a regular will together is you have to have two witnesses. You have to have a notary, and then you have to be able to make the changes that the people are articulating.
And you have to also be able to determine whether that person has any idea what they're doing.
Right. Right.
Because that's how you determine that they are oriented times 3 to time, place, and to themselves,
Right.
most of all.
Right.
So that requires that you have someone with some knowledge too there.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they do a holographic will, man, which is phenomenal, is that you have to bring in two independent witnesses.
Right.
That have that are not going to take from the will.
No dog in the fight.
No dogs in that hunt.
Right.
And those two witnesses basically have to attest that that they remember that person, they knew that person, and they knew that person's
I
handwriting.
think you're getting it confused with how we do when we transfer a property.
No, I'm
they don't
talking
have to know who you are, period, to witness a will.
No. A holographic will is not witness. Remember that.
I thought you said you had to have two witnesses in.
No. In order to probate an holographic will,
Right.
you have to have two independent witnesses come in and testify about the writing.
That's right. To say that they know this person and they know the handwriting.
Right.
That's right. I got you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I maybe I didn't take it like that.
I was thinking that you were talking about the witnesses to do
Oh.
affidavits of airships.
Oh no, you don't. No, the thing about affidavit airships,
Can you do them?
I do.
Okay.
And the thing about affidavit airships, and see, that's where you and I would probably disagree.
Okay.
What I understand in an affidavit of heirship. So here's what happens, y'all. Here's what happened, y'all.
Okay.
If you need to, if somebody died and they didn't have a will in place, and you needed to transfer the property from point A to point B,
Right.
you can do that with an affidavit of heirship.
You said with a affidavit.
Um,
I believe it requires two.
I've heard two. That's the way I thought it was. But if you go down to the register of deeds off, they're transferring them with one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought it had to be two
I
myself.
thought so. Yeah.
But where you and I disagree is the person that are giving you those affidavit of heirship, they do have to have knowledge, because you have to be able to attest under oath that you knew that person.
Sure.
Yeah.
For 20 to 30 years, or
Yeah.
a long period of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't disagree.
Oh, okay. I thought you said,
No.
yeah.
No, we don't.
Now, the witnesses for your will, they can be any smuck off the street.
That's exactly.
You can
right.
have anybody
And-
on.
Well, no, not necessarily.
Well, they got to be competent.
Cannot be hospital workers.
No, it shouldn't be hospital work.
Right.
Yeah. Because the question is always, because that was always the question, Jerome. You know
Really?
that, right? Yeah.
No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know that. I just thought they just could not be nurses.
No. They can't take, because there's always a
nurses' aides.
Yeah, the reason why they don't want those people, because
And I
they
can
could
see
be
that. I
manipulated.
can see
So they
that.
don't want them. If they're going to take, they can't be a witness.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, if they're not going to take, nobody cares.
I don't think I would not use a hospital worker.
Oh,
I would require that it be absolutely totally disinterested persons. In fact, many times what I've done is go over to a next hospital room. Somebody is visiting with somebody in the other room and ask them, would you mind coming over and helping us out for just a minute?
And I got to tell you, 90% of the hospitals I've ever been involved they won't get involved in that. Most of them, they will not. Oh my goodness, no, they will not get involved. I've been to Methodist, to do it before, and I've been to St. Francis. I've been to a couple other hospitals, and they've all, whenever I've been in there, they've all said, "No, we don't do that."
Who is we?
The staff.
No, I didn't say staff. I said people visiting.
No. I'm just saying. You said that the hospital workers, you didn't think they could do it.
Right.
What I'm saying is they normally won't do it.
Oh, got you. I got you.
Yeah. I'm saying they normally won't do it.
I got you.
All right, y'all.
But this was a great show because it is exposing a lot of things that need to be talked about as far as transferring your things to who you want it to go to.
Yeah, we down to the last minute, and I'm getting the wrap it up sign here. But look, if you got questions, we put the number up there for you to call.
Yes.
And if you don't want to put in and call in, just log it on Facebook and put it on Facebook, and we'll download it, and we'll answer those questions off air or on air when we come back.
That's right.
All right, y'all. Thank you for watching the show. We appreciate it. We'll see you back next week.
SCP